Well, lads, so tomorrow morning we are going to be getting the 1000-year Blood War Round 15 rerun. And as always, we're here to answer the question, is it actually still worth summoning on? Now, in my opinion, right from the get-go, I will say, is that you can maybe afford to skip this banner for the very first time. I know still a lot of people are going to summon for it, and if you are summoning tomorrow, good luck. At the very least, the first step is free, so everyone does get to do a free multi tomorrow, where you could potentially walk away with a banner character like Yuha, Gemrisawa Aizen. But even if you are dead set on summoning this banner, I would still recommend to maybe wait a couple or so days. Because something to look at the availability date, you will see here is that it is available tomorrow and will be here until the 3rd of October. So that therefore means that the banner is out while the end of month banner is out. And as of right now, we still don't know the consistency of how often Caleb are going to release new 1000-year Blood War banners. What we do know is that we're finally getting more banners. You know, the last two end of month banners, for example, have been 1000-year Blood War, so we could potentially get another one this upcoming end of month. And since that has a chance to happen, I would recommend just to wait till the 27th to see what that banner is going to be before you decide to summon on this banner. In the potential chance it isn't 1000-year Blood War, well then you can summon on this banner without worrying about wasting orbs before a new big banner. In addition to that, alongside the 3 new characters, we have some other 1000-year Blood War characters to talk about. In this case, I believe round 12 with another Yamamoto, Chojuro, and also Izuru. And they sprinkled in some other characters like Renji, Bambietta, and also Sergeant into this banner. Now, as with every 1000-year Blood War rerun and every rerun banner in general, that's what we're going to talk about in a minute, is that it is just a normal banner. So you get your discounts, you get your guarantees, but there's no pity system in this banner. And it's because that reason I'm starting to think that rerun banners aren't really worth talking about or even really worth summoning on anymore. But I guess it really depends on the type of player that you actually are. If you are someone that very rarely, if ever, gets to 25 steps on a banner, let's say you're impatient with your orbs and you're constantly spending them, this really doesn't make much of a difference, but at the same time, maybe it does. What we do know, at least going forward into the future, is that Brave Souls is going to a direction where we're starting to get guaranteed stuff. We see with this particular banner, and we have no idea if this is going to be the, the norm going forward, but either way, even if it is just for mid-month banners, you're getting significantly more value here. You're getting more discounts, more guarantees, and most importantly, on step 10 and 20, you're guaranteed a new character. On 25, you're guaranteed the character of your choice, and even if end of month banners going forward don't pick up with the mid-month format, at least in this case, it looks like step 25 guaranteeing a new character of your choice is still at the very least going to be the norm going forwards. So at least for me on both my main and alt account, it's kind of straying me away from ever wanting to summon on banners like this, even if the characters are still worth it. Because personally, I'd rather spend my orbs on stuff that guarantees me something. You know, I could spend 10 steps on this banner and not get the character that I want. I could, and this rarely happens, but it can happen, I could do 25 steps in this banner and not get the character you want. So it's for that reason I'm starting to think that, maybe you should skip this banner. Especially with how old it is, and keep in mind it's not that old, they're now officially over a year olds. And if we start getting more 1000-year-old banners going forward into the future, this banner in particular should start phasing out of getting a particular rerun, and instead they should eventually start to become fillers. We kind of see here with the Awakening summon, this was the Spirits Are with You rerun banner of the month. It was actually quite cool to see an all Safri character banner, but I didn't talk about it because I just don't think it's really worth summoning on anymore. And granted, some of these characters are older than 1000-year Blood around 15, but with no step that even guarantees your character of your choice, I just rather not summoning on it. I'd rather guarantee myself to get something that I want if I decide to summon on a new particular banner. And that's essentially the problem I have with this particular banner too, is just that those guarantees. But that's more so a me problem. If you don't really care about that and you still want to summon, then again, by all means, go ahead. Because I'm going to look at the 3 main banner characters. The main reason why you would want to summon is, of course, someone like Yuha, for example. Yuha is still one of the best Brave Battle characters in the game, also doubles up as a really good team booster for Guild Quest content. He can be used in the melee Captain Guild Quests. He can be used outside of Guild Quest if you really enjoy his gameplay. Most importantly, in Brave Battles where he really starts to shine, as he has a really high damage output, gets tankier under 50% stamina, and gets more damage output the more opponents or teammates that do down your team. While it's true he was countered by someone like 1000-year Blood War past Yamamoto, they're both still the best Brave Battle characters and go hand in hand in a really powerful team. 1,000 Year Blood War Yamamoto is still one of the better nukers in the entire game, and as of right now, as weird as it is because I still think he's a very powerful character, I think he's only really worth going for if you like his gameplay, of course, but also if you're more so focused on Guild Quest content. When it comes to general PvE play, I prefer 8th Anniversary Ichigo, and if you have him, it gives you less reason to use someone like Yamamoto, for example. But Yamamoto still has the advantage of Guild Quest content, being a very powerful nuker and good side character, more so nuker though, because you can use him in the melee and ranged Guild Quests, and you can also use him in the Quincy Guild Quests. So that's 3 weeks of Guild Quests, and because his damage output's so high, you don't even need this character fully duped out to nuke in Guild Quest content. We have no idea how he's going to perform in the very hard Guild Quest, but I'm sure he's going to be just fine. And then lastly we have Aizen, still to this day the best no attack damage character, mainly because we haven't gotten any new Nat characters, really good ones, designed like him since his release for the 7th anniversary. Personally, Nat characters like him aren't really my playstyle, and I very rarely, if ever, use this Aizen, but he's still good enough to be used. You know, he has a high damage output, which gets further increased when he inflicts a status ailment. He has the gauge effect too, so his damage output gets really high. And he's fun to play since he is a ranged Nat character with guard break. He has an increased chance to inflict weakening, and he has some good utility effects with his boost and barrier SA2. These 3 characters still really do hold up quite well. Yamamoto and Aizen in Guild Quest and general PvE content, Yuha in Guild Quest once more and also Brave Battle content. So overall, this banner is still quite solid. Having said that, I think you could potentially afford to skip it. It really comes down if you want these characters or if you need them, because of course they're good to have. If you do miss them out though, you know, we're going to get some really good and insane characters released over the next couple of so months in banners where you are guaranteed the character if you do X amount of steps. So personally, if I started a new account and I didn't have them, maybe I'm a bit biased because I had the characters on my other account, but I would probably skip this banner and summon on new banners only. But alongside these 3, we have some other characters, in this case another Yamamoto, a technique no affiliation killer. Good strong attacks, damage output is lacking. Same goes for Chojuro. Good strong attacks, he himself is a captain killer, lacking on damage output. Izuru is a ranged Nat character, not really that usable since he does lack guard break. Bambietta, overall just a decent character, lacking on the damage output. Renji is resurrectable, good link, and again does offer you more orbs since he's resurrectable. Same goes for Sergeant, resurrectable, and a good link. The banner itself, as far as 1,000 Year Blood War banners do go, is just on the okay side, right? The fillers are never going to be anything amazing, they're just going to be collector's items. But the main 3 still carry it, and I think they're still worth going for, but it ultimately comes down to you. I think you can afford to skip it if you don't need them. You know, if you need a power character and you have 8th Anniversary Ichigo, I don't think you need Yamamoto unless you're focused on Guild Quests. If you need a technique character, but you have Bambietta, you have Toshiro or Quincy Ichigo, then you don't really need Aizen. And if you don't really care much about Brave Battles, then you can kind of go about Yuha, right? Again, the banner itself, first step is free, so I recommend everyone go ahead and do that. Maybe do the second step if you really want to. And every 5th step going forward will guarantee you a featured character. Remember, you aren't guaranteed a character of your choice here. You could eventually do 25 steps and not get the character you want. The likelihood of that is actually low, but it can happen. And that's why me personally, since at least new banners going forward are going to guarantee us characters of our choice, I rather spend my orbs on those particular banners. So ultimately, something on a banner like this comes down to you. Of course, they're still worth going for, but again, like I already mentioned, if you skip them, you're not missing on all too much. There's always going to be a chance to get them in the future, hopefully on a better banner, and there's always going to be chances to get new and better characters. So I would say the main reason why you should be summoning on this banner is if you just really like the characters. And I will say they are some of the more fun characters in the entire game. But remember, whether you do summon or not, the first step is free, so good luck on that summon. And as always, wait until the 27th to see what end month is going to be. Hope you liked and enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.